welcome back to my channel. If you are new, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Courtney. Today I'm going to be sharing how I made 2 winter themed DIYs using supplies from Dollar Tree. So stick around. Starting with one of these signs from Dollar Tree, I'm going to take off the plastic wrap and then just pop out the insert, and I will end up using that as a stencil for my barn. Taking some of these giant craft sticks that I did get from Walmart, I'm just going to measure out how many of these I need, and then I will go ahead and trim them down so that they don't hang off the edges, and then I will be ready to go ahead and start painting them. For the paint color, I'll be using this Waverly White chalk paint, a good staple that I use quite often at this time of year. And I'm just going to go in and brush the fronts and the sides of this. And I'm only going to end up doing 1 coat. I'm not too concerned about the full coverage or not, but just enough to kind of cover it for the most part. Alright, so I popped the plastic right out of the frame, and okay, apparently I did not pop it right out of the frame. I filmed this 2 weeks ago, so okay, apparently I cut it, and then once I cut it, it popped right out of the frame. There you go. Okay, so it kind of popped right out of the frame. But anyway, I'm going to set that aside because I will be using that in a minute. And then I'll just flip the frame over, go ahead and lay out my popsicle sticks, and then I will just secure those down to the frame with some hot glue. Alright, so what is happening now is I'm taking some transfer paper that I got from Arteza, and I really liked this barn. So what I thought would be a great idea would be to just trace the outline of this barn down onto my popsicle sticks, and then I can go back in and paint it. I know there's probably a million other ways you could do this that it would be easier, but like I said, I really like this barn, and I kind of wanted it to look like a structure. If I had freehanded it, I know for a fact it would not look like this. So once I get this trimmed down, I'm just going to put the transfer paper on top of my popsicle sticks, put the barn on top of that, and then I'm going to trace around it so that I have an outline of the barn on my popsicle sticks. My barn is roughly sketched down on my popsicle sticks, I'm going to take some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color Agave, and I'm going to go ahead and paint this barn. This is going to go in my guest room, and so the colors in there at Christmas are white, silver, and this kind of tealish agave color, I guess. It matches the tree and the other decor that I have in there. So I'm going to work on this. Once it's painted, then I'll start working on the little barn door for the barn. Once the barn is painted, I am going to go ahead and work on the little door. So taking some of these popsicle sticks from Dollar Tree, I'm just going to measure where I need to cut them. And once I get them all cut, then I will go ahead and paint them with this agave color. And then I'll be able to start building the barn door onto the barn. To attach the door, I'm just going to directly glue these on with some hot glue, and then I will take some of the Waverly White chalk paint and do a quick little dry brush over the door. Now, using the original little picture of the red barn as a guide, I am just going to take a super skinny brush and just basically freehand the little outline around the edges of the barn. Once the outline was done, I took some of the Waverly White chalk paint and the fan brush, and again, I just kind of dry brushed it across the entire barn. The last thing to do is to make the little wreath for my barn. So taking an empty ribbon spool, I'm just going to rip off one side, and then I'm going to take my little rounded Fiskars scissors and cut the center hole a little bit larger so that I can attach my greenery to it. For my wreath, I'll be using some of this reindeer moss from Dollar Tree, and so all I'm going to do is just kind of work in sections. I'll put a little hot glue down and then put the reindeer moss. Now this first little batch, I realized the pieces were so big, so I ended up actually starting to rip the little pieces as I pulled it out to make them a little smaller, and then I just worked my way around the wreath to get it how I wanted to look. Where you channel your inner Mr. Miyagi and go ahead and take some small scissors and trim this. If you have any idea what I'm talking about, comment down below. But basically you get your little bonsai on here and just trim it how you want it to look. The accessory for my wreath is going to be this little truck that I got from Walmart. It came in a 4-pack. There were 2 different trucks and 2 different types of snowflakes in it. And all I'm going to do is go ahead and paint the truck the agave Waverly chalk paint color. And then the Christmas tree, I'm just going to kind of brush lightly with some white. And then I will hot glue this down onto the wreath. And then my wreath will be finished. For a brief moment of insanity, I thought I would take the world's worst craft supply, these little squishy foam balls from Dollar Tree, and glue them. I mean, look at that. Like, I can't even grab the ding dong thing and then it blows away. I thought I'd put it around the roof to make it look like berries. I'm sure it would look great if somebody wants to battle these berries, but had I not spilled a bag of these earlier and still have them rolling around my entryway, maybe I would have tried it. But no, I will not try it. So what I'm going to do is just glue down my wreath with some hot glue, glue my little truck to the wreath, and then my wreath is finished. Alright, I am on the last step. Now, I got this sticker pack from Dollar Tree. Originally, I was just going to stamp Merry Christmas on here with my stamps because I do like working with stamps. But I remembered I had this huge pack of stickers, and these actually stick to the wood really, really well. So I'm just kind of freehanding it. I'm not using any tricks. I know there's tricks out there to space these right, but I'm just going to freehand it and put Merry Christmas. I am not going to seal it because when I say these stuck to this frame, I'm not even joking. Like, they really stuck. So once the Merry Christmas is on there, this little sign is finished. All finished. It's hanging in my guest room and it will definitely match all of the Christmas decor I have in there. So now let's get into our second winter DIY. For this DIY, you're going to need 2 of these white trees from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to start by taking off the little plastic knobs on the back, and then I am going to fluff these out, leaving one side of it kind of flat so that I can attach the 2 trees together. And then I'm just going to use some white floral wire to attach them together to make a fuller tree. Now that the trees are attached together, I'm just going to take some Dollar Tree electrical tape and wrap it around the base, and then I will go in with a more neutral colored, kind of cream colored little thing I had left over from a throw that I bought at Home Goods, just to cover up the black, because the container it is going in, I didn't want it to be dark sitting inside of the little vase. This is a little snowflake candle holder that I picked up from Dollar Tree that's going to be the base of my Christmas tree. And right now I'm putting some fairy lights in it, but I am going to make a change towards the end on what type of lights I used. And the next step is to take a piece of styrofoam, and I'm going to kind of just shovel out a little bit of it so that I can stick my tree down into it, secure it in the styrofoam, and then secure the styrofoam block to the base of the little candle holder. It's time to decorate the tree. So taking some of this white sparkly tulle from Dollar Tree, I'm just taking pieces of it and tying it around the trunk, which kind of helps hide the trunk, and then cutting it and just filling in where I feel like it needs to be filled. Be forewarned, it gets glitter everywhere. And then after the tulle's in there, I take some of this silver mesh ribbon and I'm just tying it in a knot because there are holes. And then I put some glue. I didn't do this before and I kept burning my fingers, so I found this was the easiest way to get these put in there. And then again, I'm just kind of jabbing them in different locations of the tree. Now I'm going to take some of these silver glitter branches from Dollar Tree, and let me just say this, while I was working with this, they're kind of clumped together. So basically I think what Dollar Tree did is they had brown branches and then they just sprayed and put glitter all over them, and so they kind of clumped together. If you go in and try to pull it apart, there will be little pieces of brown branch exposed. It like literally just rips the glitter right off. So what I found was to kind of separate these branches just to cut them, and then that way I wasn't losing some of the glittery branch. So instead of ornaments, I knew I wanted to put bells on my tree, so I picked up 3 of these 2-packs of ornaments from Dollar Tree. They have white and silver snowflakes with white and silver bells. So I'm just going to cut off all 6 of the bells. And then I do get tons of questions about this little vacuum. I got it on Amazon. It's a tabletop vacuum and a total game changer when it comes to getting up glitter. Taking some of this sheer ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree, I just went ahead and threaded all my bells on there because it was kind of a pain. I did tape off the end, and then I'm just going to start cutting them apart, and then all I'm going to do is just tie them to a branch, and then once they are tied, I will go ahead and fishtail the ends of the ribbon. For the tree topper, I'm going to use one of these bells that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to basically detach this little floral arrangement here, take off the burlap, and then I'm going to use some of the silver mesh ribbon to put back on it, and then I'm just going to hot glue the little greenery and pine cones back. I kind of like the little hit of green with the tree. I thought it gave it a little bit of dimension, but I'm just going to attach this ribbon with some hot glue, and then like I said, just glue the greenery on top of that. To attach my little bell topper, basically what I did is both of these trees have one super long branch sticking up at the top. So I kind of just coiled them around and made like a little platform. And then the very tips of the branches, as you can see, are kind of sticking off each side. So I'm securing the little tips right now. And then basically the bell will just sit on top once you hot glue it on there. I'm sorry I don't have any footage of it. I lost it, but it's pretty simple. Just kind of coil them around each other, make a little place for it to sit, put some hot glue on the bottom of your bell, and then stick the bell on the very top. Now I'm just taking some silver floral wire and making little coils and basically just hot gluing them just randomly around the tree. The last step is to add lights. So this is a little fairy light pack that I got from Costco. It's a 4-pack that you can get at Christmas time, and it's $9.99. It comes with 9 different options, and each one is on a 30-minute timer. So when you turn it on, it'll turn off after 30 minutes, which I really like, and it's super long. And I stole this from my daughter's little Christmas tree because I was out of fairy lights and Costco hasn't put these out yet. So sorry, Bailey, I promise I'll get you some more lights. But anyway, I'm gonna start at the top, and I'm basically just going to wrap this around the tree, kind of shoving it into the tree. And then all of the extra fairy lights I will shove down into the little candle holder base. Quick little tip, using a Lazy Susan to put this on made this so much easier. And here it is, all finished. I have it sitting in my guest room right now. I haven't actually decorated in there yet, but here it is. I think it gives a great little winter theme. You could add little snowflake ornaments to this if you wanted to as well. And like I said, these lights are really awesome. They have different settings. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Please give this video a thumbs up if you are loving Christmas DIYs, and make sure you stay tuned for some DIY shoutouts from Facebook and Instagram. Have a great day, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye.